Hello students, in this video you will find the second part of the story The Ransom of Red Chief. Let's start. Just at daybreak I was awakened by awful screams from Bill. I jumped up to see what the matter was. Red Chief was sitting on Bill's chest, holding him by the hair. In his other hand, he had the sharp knife, and he was seriously trying to take Bill's scalp, as he had promised the evening before. I got the knife away from the kid and made him lie down again. But from that moment, Bill's spirit was broken. He laid down on his side of the bed, but he never closed an eye again in sleep as long as that boy was with us. Aren't it awful, Sam? No one will pay more to get a little imp like that back. His parents will, says I. I went to the top of the little mountain and looked around over toward summit. I expected to see a search party, but what I saw was a peaceful landscape. Perhaps, says I to myself, it has not yet been discovered. When I got to the cave, I found Bill backed up against the side of it, breathing hard, and the boy threatening to smash him with a rock half as big as a coconut. He put a red hot boiled potato down my back, explained Bill, and then mashed it with his foot, and I hit him. I took the rock away from the boy and kind of patched up the argument. I'll fix you, says the kid to Bill. By and by, Bill calms down and says, Sam, you won't go away and leave me here alone, will you? I went out and caught that boy and shook him until his freckles rattled. If you don't behave, says I, I'll take you straight home. Now be good. I made him and Bill shake hands. Then I took Bill aside and told him I was going to Poplar Cove, a little village 3 miles away, to find out what reaction the kidnapping had caused. You know, Sam, says Bill, I have stood by you in earthquakes, fire, floods, and cyclones. I never lost my nerve, yet till we kidnap that kid, you won't leave me long with him, will you? I'll be back soon, says I. You must keep the boy amused till return. Let's write the letter to Mr. Dorset, demanding the ransom and how it should be paid. Bill and I wrote it while Red Chief strutted up and down, guarding the cave. Bill begged me tearfully to make the ransom $1,500 instead of $2,000. So, to relieve Bill, I agreed. Ebenezer Dorset, we have your boy. It is useless for anyone to attempt to find him. We will only return him if you meet these terms. We demand $1,500, the money to be left at midnight tonight at the same box as your reply at the lawn tree. Send your answer by messenger at 8:30 tonight. If you attempt any treachery, you will never see your boy again. If you pay the money, he will be returned to you, safe and well. These terms are final, and if you do not accede to them, no further communication will be attempted. Two desperate men. I walked to Poplar Cove and sat around the post office store chatting to customers. One guy says that he hears Summit is all upset on account of Elder Dorset's boy having been lost or stolen. That was all I wanted to know. I posted my letter surreptitiously and came away. When I got back to the cave, Bill and the boy were not to be found, so I waited. Half an hour later, Bill appeared out of the bushes. Behind him was the kid, stepping softly like a scout with a broad grin on his face. Bill stopped, took off his hat, and wiped his face with a red handkerchief. The kid stopped about 8 feet behind him. Sam, says Bill, I'm sorry, but the boy is gone. I have sent him home. I have been subjugated to such awful tortures. I reached my limit. What's the trouble, Bill? I asked. I was rode like a horse, says Bill. Then I was given oats, sand, and eat edible. I tell you, Sam, a human can only stand so much. I takes him down the mountain. On the way, he kicks and bites, but he's gone home. I showed him the way. I'm sorry, we lose the ransom, but it was either that or me to the madhouse. Bill says, I have a look behind you. Bill turns and sees the boy and loses his complexion and sits down for an hour. I was afraid for his mind, and then I reminded him that we would get the ransom and be off with it by midnight if old Dorset paid up. So Bill braced himself. This was my scheme for collecting the ransom without being caught. The tree under which the answer and the later the money was to be left was in a wide open area. If any police came, I would see them a mile off. At 8:30, I was well hidden in the tree, waiting. Exactly on time, a half grown boy rides up the road on a bicycle, slips a note into the box, and pedals away again. I got the note and was back at the cave soon after. By the lantern, I read it to Bill. Two desperate men, gentlemen, I received your letter. I think the ransom you ask for the return of my son is little high. I hereby make you a counter proposition which I am sure you will accept. You pay me $250 in cash and I agree to take him off your hands, but bring him at midnight so that the neighbors don't stop you. Very respectfully, Ebenezer Dorset. The cheek, I began, but I glanced at Bill and hesitated. His eyes were pleading with me. Sam, says he, we've got the money. This kid will send me crazy. I think Mr. Dorset is generous for making us such an offer. Don't let the chance go. Honestly, Bill, says I, he has got on my nerves too. We will take Dorset's offer and make our get away. That night we got him to go by saying that his father had bought a new toy for him and we were going to play with the new toys the next day, just at the moment when I should have been collecting a ransom. Bill was giving $250 to Dorset. When the kid found out we were going to leave him, he fastened himself as tight as leech to Bill's leg. His father peeled him away. How long can you hold him? Asks Bill. I am not as strong as I used to be, says old Dorset, but I think I can promise you 10 minutes. Enough, says Bill. In 10 minutes I shall cross the country and be over the Canadian border. And as dark as it was, and as fat as Bill was, and as good a runner as I am, he was a mile and a half out of Summit before I could catch up with him. Okay, students, our story is finished now. If you want to enjoy the full story, must read O. Henry novel written by William Sidney Porter. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe it. Till then, see you.